whatever we want to talk about, we're going to talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of E4 Explicit Podcast. I'm Corey, and this is Antony Davies, a professor, and I will let you kind of tell me your background.
I'm Associate Professor of Economics at Duquesne University and the Milton Friedman Distinguished Scholar at the Foundation for Economic Education. Let's talk for a moment about MMT, modern monetary theory. We had a number of candidates talking about this early on, and then it dropped out, and it's starting to come back again. And it's this idea that the government can print money to pay its bills. Modern monetary theory.
So like what's it called? What's the Federal Reserve? That's not even a government establishment.
Well, yeah, technically it's not the government. It's one of these things that on paper it's not the government. In practice, it's kind of the government.
Okay.
Depends on how hard the government pushes, right? This kind of thing. But the Federal Reserve is a private company, but it was created by Congress. Congress can unestablish it anytime it wants.
Okay. But as far as printing money, that's the institution.
Yeah, that's the entity that
money.
does the printing of the money. Yep. And somehow thankfully I'm hearing less of it over the past couple of months, but I expect it to come back as the election heats up. This idea that we can pay our bills, the government can pay its bills by simply printing money. And what happens at the end is people do a lot of mental machinations to hide the fact that you can't make goods and services appear out of thin air.
No.
That ultimately what matters isn't the amount of money that's around. What matters is that you have a smartphone and I have a smartphone. We have cars, we have houses, we have food. The goods and services we have is what matters. And printing dollars doesn't give us more goods and services. All it does is it dilutes the value of the dollars. So each dollar becomes worth less. In the end, all that printing money does, in effect, is to impose a tax on savers. So if you've got $1,000 in the bank and the Federal Reserve starts printing some money, that $1,000 buys less than it did before because prices rise. So what's really happened is we've stolen some of your purchasing power by printing this money.
So like, because it takes, how much does it cost to make a penny?
More than a penny. I don't know what is right. Yeah.
And so like, I think like Yang, was like talking about getting rid of the penny, but like, is that kind of like similar to what you're talking about as far as like devaluing the actual dollar and our purchasing power by printing money?
Yeah, it's a little bit different because when they get rid of the penny, they would replace it with something else, right? So what I'm saying is you'd have the same total dollar amount of coins. It just would be no pennies. You'd have more nickels and dimes or something like that.
Okay.
But here you're actually increasing the total number of dollars in the economy.